Um, yeah, I see recording starting. So to persist through challenges and push forward even when things get tough, because when we're like accomplishing some projects, it's not always easy, and we have definitely challenges along the way. So it's very important to have this intrinsic motivation to stay connected and to keep going. And there are two types of motivation, which is intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. First one, the intrinsic motivation is type of motivation that comes from within. So this is when we do something because it brings us personal satisfaction. So, for example, let's say if you love hiking and you see there is a like some problem or like your favorite trail is ruined, you will need to take care of it just because you enjoy walking on the like trail that doesn't have any problems, right? So something that you enjoy yourself personally and doing because you really care about this is what comes from intrinsic motivation. On the other hand, we have extrinsic motivation, which is mostly driven by external factors, such as rewards, for example. For instance, you might organize a beach cleanup and feel motivated because you will be recognized afterwards. People will say, yeah, this is so great. This girl or this boy accomplished or did so much that they did a very good job, and people will be very glad that they know you, and will be very glad that somebody in their community accomplished something so important. So this is extrinsic motivation. A lot of people ask me like, which one is more important? Or is it bad to have this extrinsic motivation, and should we be driven only by intrinsic motivation? Which I always answer that no, both of them are very important. So why does this matter for eco-leaders is that while recognition can encourage us, the lasting power comes from intrinsic motivation. So this is about finding purpose in the work that we are doing. We can of course, this webinar won't finish without mentioning Greta Thunberg, who we can set an example of intrinsic motivation. Of course, like a world recognized this girl. She has various speeches to different events, but one of the very important key factors why she keeps going and why she can overcome challenges is because she's doing something that she really cares about. Okay. So again, why does this motivation, why is it really so important for eco-leaders, and why do we talk this much about motivation, right? Let's face it, like working on environmental issues is not always easy, and we understand that. There are like a lot of limitations, a lot of challenges that we're tackling through, and it can feel like a battle sometimes. And that's exactly where the motivation steps in. So motivated eco-leaders can actually inspire action. They can inspire others to take some certain steps. For example, in the context of our own communities, we can think of the power of a motivated leader who starts with the small steps, with small actions, and then they can turn those small steps into bigger events. For example, let's say we can start with just like collecting some waste as a single person in our area. And by the time, if our motivation keeps going, we can see that other people can join us. We can talk about this, we can show passion about this, why we're doing this, and we can show the purpose, what's more important of doing this. So it actually fosters community engagement and encourage others to participate in eco-friendly practices. Okay. And you can also ask this to yourself, like, what can you achieve if you stay motivated? So again, you can think about the purpose, about the goal. What could your community look like after like 5 years if you persist with your sustainability efforts, right? So if you keep asking these questions, if you keep having yourself motivated, you can also spread this motivation to others. And I know it sounds easier and it's harder to do, but exactly that's why we're going to discuss some details and ideas and strategies about how to stay motivated and how to build motivation again after having like some challenges that took our motivation away from us. Okay, I think I opened previous slide. Okay, so in order to actually understand what drives us, we need to identify what motivates us. So let's focus on how we do that and how we identify our own sources of motivation. So think about the last time you felt like really excited about an eco-friendly initiative. What was it that fired you up? Or what was it, the idea of protecting wildlife or reducing waste or helping your neighbors live more sustainably? Was it something that encouraged you, or was it something else that actually influenced you to take part in such kind of project? Maybe you haven't done so yet. However, you are thinking about this, or at least you are interested because you joined this webinar and you are interested in this topic, right? So here are basically 3 key areas to reflect on while identifying your motivation. So let's see. First is passions. Passions are interests aligning with sustainability. This is what you like. You can reflect on your hobbies, your interests that align with sustainability, right? For example, if you love gardening, think about how you can promote community gardening initiatives, how you can promote planting trees, how you can do something that is not that you're not doing because you should do this, but that actually gives you some joy and some pleasure. So it goes back to intrinsic motivation, right? Goals. What do you aspire to achieve in your community? Sometimes it might be something that you don't enjoy that much, but you understand that there is a goal and it's very important to reach that goal. For example, to reduce air pollution or environmental pollution, which you understand that is very, very important for you, for your community, for your friends, family. And sometimes it's not, again, easy to do, and it's not always pleasant, all of the aspects of it, but there's a goal that you clearly see and you can clearly describe these goals to other people as well. In this case, you can basically identify your type of motivation as well, right? So there's a goal and you are going through it, you're going to achieve it. And when you feel down or when you feel that something's not going well, you can remember this goal and you can say, yeah, I know that's hard sometimes. I know that's not always goes as planned, but we have some goals set and we're going to reach them. And the third one is the challenge, right? So consider the obstacles you faced. For example, dirty water, right? If there is dirty water that people cannot drink, is a real challenge that you want to solve. It might be a challenge for you personally as well, because you don't have an access to clear water, right? So once you know what is the challenge that needs to be solved and which will bring you to the final result, it can also motivate you, because yeah, again, it's difficult. It's difficult to find resources, it's difficult to mobilize people, it's difficult to accomplish all the activities that you plan. But if you do it in the end, you know you will have some clean water. So it can also build up some motivation. Okay. This keeps going back, sorry. Okay. And now about staying motivated. So first, one thing is to identify motivation, but it's also difficult to stay motivated. How many of you had this example in your life? You started doing something like a project or an initiative, and at the beginning, everybody were like, "Oh yeah, let's do this. Yes, we're in. We're gonna do this. We're gonna support you. We will be with you all the way along." And then suddenly you realize that step by step, people just do not show up. They sometimes do not follow all those steps that they are supposed to in order to accomplish the project, in order to accomplish the activity, and their motivation just fades away. I think it's pretty, it happens pretty often. For me personally, it happened until I found out how important it is to keep people motivated. So staying motivated over the long term can be challenging. And I think we all know how easy it is to feel motivated at the start again of a project, but that motivation can fade step by step. And I want to share some strategies to help you stay motivated as an eco leader. So, first of all, as you see, there are SMART goals written on the presentation, which is very important. It's real important to set SMART goals for a couple of reasons. Before we continue with the reasons, can somebody give me some idea about SMART goals? What are they? Did you have any experience with them? Any volunteers that want to share? No, I don't see any hands, so I will share this. Okay, okay, great. All right. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I will talk about these SMART goals. Sorry, something's wrong with my screen. All right. What are SMART goals? Those are goals that are specific. So S stands for specific, measurable, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for time-bound. For example, if your goal is to plant trees in your community, set very, very specific target. Like, for example, I will plant 50 trees by the end of this year. So in this case, you will have the number, actual number that you need to achieve, actual number of trees, and you know exactly what to do, when to do, by what time it should be done, and you can measure it. Okay, my goal was to plant 50 trees. Did I do that? If yes, if no, then you can do reflections, and it will be easier to see if you reach your goal. And once it's easy to see whether you could or could not reach your goal, it is easier then to understand following steps. And this, again, is very connected to motivation, because then you know, for example, yeah, I definitely did this. So your motivation increases, right? But if you done it, but you have no idea about this because you don't know how to measure it, sometimes it can take your motivation away just because you could not really understand the impact and you could not really understand the result that you brought for the community. Okay. Next one is to break down goals and try to make larger goals manageable. So let's see again, let's take our example of planting trees. If we want to plant 50 trees by the end of the year, try to have small actions as well. For example, materials to buy what you need, right? People, you will need to mobilize some volunteers, young people. I don't know, like calling them, emailing them. All these actions and small steps should be written down and broken down so that you see the process. And I believe all of us had this good feeling when we are just check marking something in our to-do list and we mark them as done, something that was accomplished. So again, this is like a psychological trick kind of as well to keep us motivated because we see that we are accomplishing something and we are actually like going through our goals. Okay, and positive mindset, which is about celebrating small wins and sharing success. So don't wait for the big accomplishment to actually celebrate along the way. If you have already planted 3 trees out of 50, celebrate it. It's worth it. This is something that you have already done. And also keep learning. One way to stay motivated is to constantly learn through something. You failed at something, it's okay. This is a failure, but this is a lesson as well. Reflect on that and try to understand what was wrong, what didn't go as planned, and you will see that okay, you have a failure. This means you have a lesson. You don't have a failure. This means you have success. So, again, like being afraid and not having motivation just because of being afraid of failure, it is a very big challenge to our motivation. So you need to recognize that sometimes not everything goes as planned. I remember once I planned a charity event and very few people showed up. And I really did a lot of work, but we still did this event with fewer people. And then instead of saying, yeah, I'm just never going to do any events again, what I did was I had to sit down. I had to think about what I did wrong, what I did not. This was actually one of my very, very first voluntary projects. And after that, I realized some mistakes that were done along the way. And again, when I started realizing them and taking this as a lesson, taking failure as a lesson, it gave me like even more motivation to try more and test more. So I like kept doing my work in the youth field and volunteering field for years for now. Okay, are there any questions for now? Like I see you're a bit quiet. No questions for now. Okay, we can continue in this case. And building resilience. So let's see. When talking about resilience, one of the main questions here is like, what's the difference between being resilient and staying motivated? So being resilient might be a part of staying motivated, but staying motivated is more about keep going, having motivation after some time, after some journey, after some challenges. But resilience is something that you develop over time and gives you something that gives you a possibility to get back your lost motivation. So maybe you didn't stay motivated, maybe something happened, but you could gain this resilience. You could gain this motivation again. This means that you could build your resilience. And there is no journey without challenges again, and especially as eco leaders, resilience is key to facing setbacks and staying committed. Like we need to embrace failure as growth. Sometimes we will fail again, but failure teaches us what doesn't work and help us find better solutions. So again, if you didn't fail, this means that you didn't try. And sometimes it's better to try than not, like just be afraid and not do anything at all. Excuse me. So another strategy is basically, apart from, of course, learning from failures and adapting, being flexible to adapt your plan, you can create support systems within your community. So resilience also means surrounding yourself with people who support you and who support your mission, because when you are down, when you are unmotivated, they can provide help. They can provide support. How many times did you talk to somebody motivated and you felt so encouraged, so good that you understood, oh, okay, after talking with this person, after working with them, I get motivated myself as well. This happened with me a lot of times. So again, find your support system. Collaborate with local environmental groups, community organizations, schools, universities, initiative groups. They can offer emotional support and also resources when things really, really get tough. And last but not least is practicing self-care. Sustainability efforts also can be pretty exhausting, and we need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves so we do not burn out, whether that's taking time to go for a walk in nature, or do some meditation, reading a book. Self-care is an essential thing to keep yourself motivated. You need to find time for yourself as well. Sometimes people do not really look at it very seriously. Like, yeah, what can a little walk how can a little walk work for me, or how can reading book actually help with motivation? But it does, because it is a type of self-care when you can do something for yourself, something that gives you some time for rest, for feeling refreshed, and this then can bring you back to the work that you are going to do as an eco leader. All right. I have a small video for you, which is from our project, actually. I don't want to talk like much about this before I show this to you. Rather, we will have a little discussion of this video afterwards. But before we start watching this video, I want to ask you for a little thing. Let's write down what motivates us, and let's identify both internal and external types of motivations. And what is our motivation to be involved in eco-sustainable projects? Let's take like 3-4 minutes, and then if we have volunteers, we can share it here as well. Okay? And I will prepare the video meanwhile. If you do not have your pen with you and paper, or your mobile phone or any gadget, you can just think of it. Probably you have a gadget as you're in Zoom, but still. So you can think of it and think what's the main motivation that drives you. Okay, one more minute and we can start sharing ideas, okay? All right. Do we have any volunteers who want to share their motivation, some factors that drive them to get involved or actually lead projects which are like sustainable and eco-friendly? I think we have a volunteer.
Do we have?
No,
Давай не надо.
I heard some voice, so I thought that we had. Maybe our partners want to share some of their examples of motivation. No, we're shy. All right. Okay. It's fine. Maybe it takes some time to actually understand what's our motivation and to identify what actually drives us. So if you have not found it yet, and if you're still thinking about this, it's also okay. I just thought that some of you might already have it identified within yourself, but I believe that after this webinar, you will think more about this. You will think more about the reasons and factors that keep you and make you keep going. So at least after this webinar, I really, really hope that you will find this within yourself, and also you will find these strategies helpful to stay motivated and stay resilient. And now let's watch the video, and we'll get back with the discussion.
გამარჯობა. მე მარიამი ვარ, 16 წლის ახალგაზრდა სოფელ მარხობიდან. ადრეული ასაკიდან ვაცნობიერებდი როლს და ვიძნობდი ჩემს წილყაშვილს მიღებულ საკითხებთან დაკავშირებით. ჯერ კიდევ მეხუთე კლასში ვიყავი, როდესაც ჩემს თანატოლებთან ერთად ვაწყობდი დასუფთავების აქციებს და მახსოვს როგორ მწყდებოდა გული იმ სიტუაციაზე, რაც სოფელში იყო. იცით, გზაში ვხვდებოდი პოლიეთილინის პარკებს, რომლებიც ხეებზე იყო დამოკიდებული, თავის მდინარეებს და მიჩნდებოდა სურვილი იმისა, რომ ეს სიტუაცია უკეთესობისკენ შემესვალო. ჩემი სახლიდან სკოლამდე მანძილი დაახლოებით 25 სავალია, რაც არც ცოტა დროა და სწორედ ამიტომ ყოველდღურად ხან ფეხით, ხან ავტომობილით ვიწევდა ხოლმე სიარული, მაგრამ ყოველთვის მატყუებდა ის განცდა, რომ ავტომობილით დავწევდი და გადავწყვიტე რამე ეკოლოგიური ტრანსპორტი მეცა და მიუხედავად იმისა, რომ სოფელში არ გვაქვს არც ველობილიკები, არც სკოლაში სადგომები, ეს ყველაფერი ჩვენთვის დაბრკოლებას არ წარმოადგენს და ყოველდღე ძალიან ბედნიერად დავდივარ ჩემი ველოსიპედით, რომელსაც კოლმეტა შევარდნი. ეს არის ნათელი მაგალითი იმისა, თუ როგორ შეცვალეს ახალგაზრდებმა თავის თემში მცხოვრები ადამიანების ყოველდღიური ყოფა-ცხოვრება და დამოკიდებულება რიგ საკითხებში. ჩემთვის ეს არის მაგალითი სიძლიერის და გამძლეობის, რომ თუ კიდევ პოზიტიური ცვლილებები მოიტანოს საზოგადოებისა და გარემოსთვის, შენ ამას აუცილებლად შეძლებ. ბატონების დასუფთავების აქციებს დავწერეთ პროექტი მწვანე სიცოცხლე მარტყოფს, რომლის ფარგლებშიც საბავშვო ბაღებში მარადმწვანე მცენარეები დავრდგეთ. სოფლის მასშტაბით წამოვიწყეთ გარემოს დაცვის თემებზე ცნობიერების ასამაღლებელი კამპანიები. მათ შორის სამიერი შევერთით Friday for Future წამოწყებას და გამართეთ მართვით, რომლის მთავარი მიზანიც თემატური მესეჯების საზოგადოებამდე მიტანა იყო. ძალიან სასიხარულოა ის ფაქტი, რომ ადამიანები, რომლებიც წლების განმავლობაში თავიანთ საფრთხე ცხოვრებენ არჩევნების მდინარეებში და ხეებში უყურებდნენ თავს, დღეს სწორედ ისინი გამოგვაყმოდნენ და გვიგროვენ აი ამ პლატფორმის ფოთლებს. მიხარია, რომ ჩემი ქცევა ინსპირაციული აღმოჩნდა ჩემი თანატოლებისთვის და დღეს არ ვარ ერთადერთი მოსწავლე, რომელიც იყო ჩვენი.
All right. So, any thoughts about the video? If not, again, and if we're too shy to share our thoughts, I will volunteer. So basically, I wanted to show this video today because it shows how one person, a school student, could actually show the importance of eco-leadership, right? Because this girl started some actions and activities within her community without resources, just with her own inner motivation. And then she could find support, not only from the community, but she could find support through some funding as well. And what is more important, as she mentioned at the end of the video, is that after that, more people started cycling, more students started cycling to their way to school, right? And back home. And this is a very good and clear example how the motivation of one person was actually spread throughout the community. And again, this may be one girl, one school, even one classmate, but still it counts because it makes change and it brings change. So this is one of the most important factors that can keep you motivated to see this change, most importantly, to have this change as a goal, first of all, and then seeing them achieved throughout your way. All right. Let's see what are some key takeaways from today's webinar and what we have covered. So we have explored the concept of motivation and its significance for eco-leaders and identified personal motivators. Also discuss how to align them with eco-friendly goals and learn some strategies for staying motivated and building resilience. So I really want that after this webinar, once you leave this webinar, you think to yourself, what are some of those goals and some of those steps that you want to achieve, that you want to accomplish in order to help you to identify your motivation and keep you motivated throughout your way. And also, here is a little step-by-step guide, just like a summary that you need to basically do for your eco-leadership, which is identifying again your motivators, set smart goals, break down tasks, building support network, and practicing self-care. And we should always remember that motivation fuels our journey toward a sustainable future. So this is something that keeps us going. Again, I know I mentioned this several times throughout the webinar today, but it's very important because you will need to not only keep yourself motivated, but spread this motivation to others as well. I want to ask if there are like some questions, if you have some questions, if there was something that was not understandable for today. Oh, I think Elena shared some ideas about supportive networks that promote sustainability can provide external encouragement. Definitely, thank you. And sorry that I missed this before. It was in the chat and I couldn't see it. Definitely those networks that we talked about can like fuel our motivation as well, which on the other hand will fuel ourselves to the road of eco-leadership and sustainability. And thank you, Yurata, for providing link for motivating stories. Again, I shared one example only, example of Mariam. We don't really have time to share all the videos, but we have very inspiring stories. You can find on the link that Yurata sent. And also, like, you can reach us if you have any questions and let us know if you need more materials or resources. We're really happy and glad to help you. And yeah, if there are some questions, the floor is yours. Some questions, or maybe you want to share some ideas, share some comments, feedback. Even George also shared the link for the feedback for the webinar. So Yes, please feel free to let us know.
Thank you very much, Katie.
Sure. If you're shy to ask
Okay,
questions, you can type in the chat as well.
Yes, of course.
Okay, great.
Thank you
In
very
this
much
case,
for
thank you.
sharing your knowledge and experience with us today. Thanks so much. Your presentation was great and many things we thought we knew about them. We understood now that, okay, we need an expert to realize that we can improve ourselves for any aspect. So as we come now to today's, the end of our webinar today, you can find, as Katie said before, the link of the feedback. We need your feedback. It's not only appreciated, but essential in helping us make these webinars even better. So thanks one more for your participation. And we are looking forward to seeing you at our next event, our next webinar. Do you have any
Thank you.
comment
Thanks.
or something else to add in our conversation? Okay.
From my side, no. If the participant wants to add anything.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Katie, once more. Have a nice evening all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.